Right now, a cold front is slamming into Tasmania, and within 72 hours, 150 millimetres of rain could drown parts of Queensland. But here is the thing most people are not talking about. There is a hidden squeeze zone forming between two pressure systems, and if you live anywhere from Brisbane down to Sydney, what happens next could catch you completely off guard. Stay with me for the next few minutes because I'm going to walk you through every single city, every single day, from today all the way through to next Tuesday. And if you stick around until the 5-minute mark, I will show you exactly where the European and American weather models agree on a potential 200 millimetre rainfall zone, and more importantly, where they disagree. That disagreement could mean the difference between a wet weekend and a dangerous one. But first, let me give you the 30-second payoff I promised. Right now, as you are watching this, a classic cold front is pushing through southern Australia. The satellite imagery tells the whole story. Speckled clouds south of the continent stretching across the Great Australian Bight. That speckled pattern is the signature of a textbook cold front, and it is moving fast. Tasmania is already feeling it. Thunderstorms and rain are hammering the western ranges right now. And behind that front, a burst of polar air is about to sweep along the entire southern coastline tonight. Now, here is where it gets interesting. Can you guess which capital city is about to get caught in the crossfire between a retreating heat wave and an advancing cold front? I will reveal that in just a moment, but first, let me break down what is happening right now, city by city. Melbourne, your turn is coming today, and it is coming fast. That cold front pushing through Tasmania is heading straight for you. Here is your exact timeline. Through the middle of the day, you are still sitting in warm to hot conditions ahead of the front. That is the deceptive part. It feels like summer, it looks like summer, but the satellite imagery tells a completely different story. By late afternoon, the wind begins to shift. By 7 p.m. Eastern Time, expect showers and possibly thunderstorms along the coastal suburbs in the southern metro area. The change will feel dramatic. We are talking a noticeable temperature drop within the space of an hour or two as that southerly wind kicks in hard. If you are heading out for dinner tonight, take a jacket. You will not need it at 5 p.m, but you will absolutely need it by 8 p.m. The rain clears by tomorrow morning and Thursday shapes up mostly dry with a refreshing southwest breeze. Classic Melbourne, 4 seasons in one day. Hobart, you are right in the firing line as I speak. Thunderstorms and rain on the western side of the ranges today. The polar change sweeps through overnight tonight, and by tomorrow morning you wake up to clearing skies. By lunchtime Thursday it is mostly done. Southwest winds, plenty of showers on the west coast, but the east coast dries out quickly. Short-lived but intense, that is the story for Tasmania. Adelaide, you are getting the tail end of something unusual right now. The remnants of what was Tropical Cyclone Mitchell now completely falling apart as an ex-cyclone are pushing some rain and a few thunderstorms into South Australia from the west. That moisture fades through today and into tomorrow as the system loses its last bit of energy. But do not get comfortable, and here is why. What is coming for Adelaide next Tuesday is far more interesting than what is happening today. It involves a dramatic collision between hot northerly winds pushing down from the interior and a fresh southerly change approaching from the western coastline ahead of the next high-pressure zone. That combination could deliver a scorching morning followed by a sharp afternoon cool down. It is the kind of day where you check the forecast before deciding what to wear. More on that collision in a moment. Now, here is the twist nobody expected. Perth and the southwest corner of Western Australia, you are actually in the quietest zone right now. High pressure is sitting south of you, keeping things calm, but that changes. By Monday, a cooler southerly breeze pushes up just south of Bunbury and Margaret River. So if you have outdoor plans for the start of next week, that southerly will bring noticeably cooler conditions compared to what you are feeling right now. Sydney, pay attention to this. Today you are hot. The heat is pushing out through New South Wales and around the Australian Capital Territory, but a cooler southerly change is working its way north. By Thursday, most of New South Wales is dry, apart from a few border showers to the south and some coastal showers in the southeast. Sounds peaceful, right? Here is the catch. By Friday, everything changes, and this is the part you absolutely cannot miss. Do not skip ahead just yet, because what happens on Friday sets up the most significant weather event of the entire forecast period. On Friday, a squeeze zone forms. Picture this. High pressure is ballooning out near Sydney, stretching up towards Lord Howe Island and building into the Tasman Sea. Meanwhile, low pressure sits in the Coral Sea and inland over central Queensland. Between those two systems, the atmosphere gets compressed, the winds accelerate. Northerlies come racing down the Great Dividing Range. Easterlies push in from the coast. And where those air masses collide, thunderstorms explode. Friday rainfall totals could hit 80 millimetres in 24 hours across southeast and central Queensland. And that is just the beginning, because by Saturday, the models are showing something that should make every Queenslander sit up and take notice. 150 millimetres in 24 hours. Let me say that again. 150 millimetres in just one day across parts of Queensland on Saturday. That is not a typo. That is what the modelling is showing right now. Brisbane, here is your timeline, and please pay close attention to this because the timing matters enormously. Thursday stays warm and tropical, nothing unusual. Friday is when the atmosphere starts loading up. The thunderstorms build through the afternoon, especially inland and to the southeast of the city. You might see some dark skies building to your west as the convergence zone fires up. Saturday is the peak day. That is when the heaviest rainfall hammers down. The squeeze zone between the Tasman High and the Coral Sea Low reaches maximum intensity, and the models are showing extraordinary rainfall rates. If you have outdoor events planned for Saturday, have a backup plan. I am not saying cancel everything, but know that conditions could deteriorate rapidly, especially during the afternoon and evening hours. Sunday, the system begins to ease slightly over the metro area, but do not let your guard down because severe thunderstorms remain possible through inland Queensland and they start dropping south into New South Wales. The most dangerous storms on Sunday will likely be west of the ranges, but outflow boundaries from those storms can trigger new cells closer to the coast. Now, I promised you a 5-minute reveal, and here it is. Both the European and the American weather models agree on one thing: a band of heavy rain stretching through inland and southeastern Queensland, with some areas potentially receiving over 200 millimetres across the next 7 days. The European model and the American model are remarkably similar on this one. When two independent global weather models agree this closely, that is when forecasters really pay attention. Where they both point to the heaviest totals is the northeast corner of New South Wales, potentially receiving up to 100 millimetres or more, and the usual tropical downpours across the top end of the Northern Territory and the Kimberley. Now, here is what this means for your city if you live in the northern half of the country. Cairns and Townsville, this is standard February tropical weather for you. Thunderstorms, humidity, afternoon downpours, nothing out of the ordinary, but keep your eye on that tropical low that is currently sitting offshore. It is expected to drift towards New Caledonia, which is actually good news for the Queensland coast. As it moves away, southern Queensland sees some drier skies by Tuesday. Gold Coast and northern New South Wales, you are in that transition zone. The further north you are, the wetter it gets from Friday onwards. If you are south of Coffs Harbour, you are likely staying drier, but watch for those severe thunderstorms that could push down from Queensland on Sunday and into Monday. Canberra, here is your outlook. The heat is on today. You are in the hot zone with New South Wales. Thursday brings a cooler change from the south. Friday through the weekend, mostly dry as high pressure dominates to your south. But heading into Monday, north to northeasterly breezes pick up and there is a chance of a few showers. Nothing dramatic, but enough to keep an umbrella handy. Darwin and the top end, it is the wet season and it is behaving exactly like the wet season should. Thunderstorms daily, some of them severe, with heavy downpours possible anytime from late morning through the evening. That low pressure system sitting over the northern part of the continent is keeping the moisture pipeline wide open and flowing. This is standard operating procedure for February up north. But as always, it is worth checking the radar before heading out, especially if you are driving on unsealed roads or planning anything outdoors. Now, let me walk you through the full week timeline so you can plan ahead. Today, Wednesday, cold front hits Tasmania and pushes into Victoria by evening. Hot ahead of the change in New South Wales and Queensland. Ex-tropical cyclone Mitchell remnants bring rain to parts of South Australia and southern Western Australia. Thursday, the cold change clears Tasmania by morning, moves through Victoria by midday. Most of southern Australia dries out. Northern Australia continues with scattered thunderstorms. Friday, this is the day to watch. The squeeze zone activates over Queensland. 80 millimetre rainfall totals possible in 24 hours in southeast and central Queensland. Thunderstorms build through the day. High pressure settles over the south, keeping Victoria, South Australia and southern Western Australia dry. Saturday, peak rainfall day for Queensland. 150 millimetres in 24 hours in some areas. Severe thunderstorm potential is high. Northern New South Wales starts to see increased shower activity. The south remains dry under high pressure. Sunday, the wet weather band shifts slightly. Severe thunderstorms possible from inland Queensland dropping down into northern New South Wales. High pressure near Tasmania keeps the south calm. Easterly winds along the New South Wales coast with northeasterlies further south. Monday, a cooler southerly reaches the southwest corner of Western Australia. The heat that was sitting over Perth pushes into South Australia. North to northeasterly winds for Victoria and Tasmania with a chance of showers. The tropical low drifts towards New Caledonia, offering some relief to the Queensland coast. Tuesday, Adelaide, this is your day of contrasts. Hot northerlies push down into the city while a southerly change approaches from the western side of coastal South Australia ahead of the next high pressure zone. If you are east of Adelaide, northerly winds could still deliver a scorching day as heat from the interior pushes to the coast. Southern Queensland sees some drier skies as the tropical low moves further away, so there is the complete picture. The south gets a cold front today that clears quickly. The north builds towards a significant rainfall event peaking on Saturday. And the cities in between Sydney, Canberra need to watch that transition zone carefully from Friday onwards. Now, before I wrap up, I need your help with something, and this is genuinely important for making these forecasts better for you. Drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from, your city, your town, your region, even your suburb if you want to get specific. The reason I ask is that I can tailor these forecasts based on where most of you are located. If I know there is a big audience in the Hunter Valley or along the Sunshine Coast or down in Geelong or out in Toowoomba, I can spend more time breaking down exactly what those areas can expect hour by hour. Every comment helps me understand what regions need more coverage. And if you are watching from a rural area, I especially want to hear from you because regional forecasts often get overlooked and you deserve the same level of detail as the capital cities. So tell me where you are and I will make sure your region gets the attention it deserves in the next update. And speaking of the next update, here is why you absolutely need to come back tomorrow. That squeeze zone I told you about over Queensland, the models are still fine-tuning exactly where the heaviest rainfall corridor will set up. Tomorrow, we will have fresh model runs with updated data, and I will be able to pinpoint down to specific regions where the 150 millimetre plus totals are most likely to hit. If you are anywhere in Queensland or northern New South Wales, that update could be the most important weather information you get all week. One more thing, and this is something I have been keeping a close eye on for the past few days. Next week, there is a new pattern developing in the Indian Ocean that could influence Australia-esque weather heading into late February and early March. I have been watching it closely and it is showing some unusual characteristics that do not fit the typical seasonal pattern. I am not ready to call it yet, and I do not want to speculate prematurely, but if it develops the way some of the long-range models are suggesting, it could reshape the forecast for the entire eastern seaboard in ways we have not seen so far this summer. I will have the first detailed look at that in tomorrow's update, along with some historical comparisons that might surprise you. That is your full Australia weather breakdown from today through next Tuesday. Remember, the key dates to mark in your calendar are today for the southern states cold front, Friday and Saturday for Queensland S major rainfall event, and next Tuesday for Adelaide S dramatic weather clash between hot northerlies and a fresh southerly change. Plan accordingly, stay weather aware, check your local radar before heading out, and I will see you right here tomorrow with the latest model updates and that critical Queensland rainfall corridor analysis that could change everything.